Let's do this thing. Does it make you sick? Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to be late for men's breakfast. Wow. All right. Uh-oh. I hear a baby screaming for me. Hopefully somebody's coming to get her. I think someone is. Okay. Well, let's knock out some Bible study, and then I've got to get going to men's breakfast. We're in Acts. I remember that much. We're in chapter something, chapter 23. Oh, and he gets sent to Felix. Let's see here. I think we made it to verse 22. Yes, we made it down to verse 22 yesterday. So, good morning to Rick. Good morning to Lisa and Aubrey and everyone else who's logging in. And let's rock and roll. He called for the 2 centurions, saying, "Prepare 200 soldiers, 70 horsemen, and 200 spearmen to go to Caesarea at the 3rd hour of the night, and provide mounts to set Paul on and bring him safely to Felix the governor." He wrote a letter in the following manner: "Claudius Lysias, to the most excellent governor Felix, greetings. This man was seized by the Jews and was about to be killed by them. Coming with the troops, I have rescued him, having learned that he was a Roman. And when I wanted to know the reason they accused him, I brought him before the council. I found out that he was accused concerning questions of their law, but had nothing charged against him deserving of death or chains. When it was told me that the Jews lay in wait for the man, I sent immediately to him, sent him to you, and also commanded his accusers to state before you the charges against him. Farewell." Then the soldiers, as they were commanded, took Paul and brought him by night to Antipatris. The next day they left the horsemen to go on with him and returned to the barracks. When they came to Caesarea, they had delivered the letter to the governor. They presented Paul to him. When the governor had read it, he asked what province he was from, and when he understood he was from Cilicia, he said, "I will hear you when your accusers have come," and he commanded him to be kept in Herod's praetorium. Boom. Okay. I don't know what practical Christian application is in this for us right off the top of my head, but there's some history in here, and I'm going to try and keep it short because I want to get to men's breakfast because I'm hungry and I want some pancakes. But Kratistos, in verse 26, he calls the most excellent governor Felix. That's Kratistos. It's only spoken of twice concerning Felix, once concerning Festus in the next chapter, and also most excellent Theophilus, whom Luke is writing the book of Luke and the book of Acts to. So sometimes that may help us to wonder who is Theophilus. I know it's not like directly rated here, but this is a kind of a tie-in verse that helps us understand who was Theophilus. Well, this most excellent term wasn't just, something that Luke got from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Most excellent Theophilus. No, it was Kratistos. It was a title, really, and it was something only given to people of prominence. So that leans towards the idea that this Theophilus guy that Acts and Luke was written to was an actual man of significance and importance. They send him to Caesarea. Caesarea Maritime is by the sea. There was another Caesarea, Caesarea Philippi. That was like north of the Galilee. You go to the Galilee and you just head straight north and you hit Caesarea Philippi. That's where Jesus talks about how, the gates of hell shall not prevail, and, upon this rock I'll build my church. And that happened at Caesarea Philippi, different Caesarea. Philippi was made by Philip, King Herod the Great's son. Caesarea Maritime was made by Herod the Great. They get there. Now, by this time, Pontius Pilate is no longer around. He was in Judea from 26 AD to 36 AD. And so now we have a new leader hanging around at Caesarea. Now, Caesarea would have been where Pontius Pilate would have spent most of his time. And now we see Felix there, and Festus will replace him in just a little while. Where'd my brain go? It is in Caesarea. Again, it's usually a lot of history facts today, but it's really cool stuff. It's in Caesarea where Pontius Pilate, they found the Pilate stone, or as they so call it. Up until the 1950s, People thought, well, Pontius Pilate, he's a fictional character. He's just in the Bible. He doesn't really exist in history. We would have known about him if he was really real. Therefore, the Bible's wrong. But in Egypt on the Nile with the Aswan Dam, when that was created, it lowered the level of the Mediterranean, essentially. And that sounds crazy, like the huge Mediterranean Sea being lowered. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to the Mediterranean. I've only seen it from Israel. And I mean, that only gives you a little bit of a perspective, but it's like, this huge sea being lowered by a dam. But you have to understand the Nile River, which I have never seen. I don't know if any of you, if you've seen the Nile River in person, please post, because all I can tell you is the Nile River is so massive that the Mediterranean Sea, the ocean, is fresh water for 200 miles beyond the end of the land. It's 200 miles out into the sea. It's fresh water because the Nile River is pushing so much water into the Mediterranean. So when they built the Aswan Dam, it actually lowered the level of the Mediterranean. And when that happened, from a helicopter, they noticed a shape in the sand. And it ended up being the amphitheater from Caesarea Maritime. And they have now been digging up the city. And it's like the first stop. You do an Israel trip, which I'm going back there 2023 in a group. I'm hoping to go once on my own before then. You just can't go 2 years without going to Israel. But hey, if you guys want to join along, it's like usually like $3,500, 33. I just say 35. I'd rather have you guys plan big, but come. If you start now, it's like a couple $100 a month. And you know what? Like we could all probably do without some coffees in order to go check out the Holy Land. So, I mean, if you start saving now, it's a couple $100 a month and you'll be well on your way to getting there. It's even less, like $150 a month, really. That's still an obligation, but pray about it. Anyway, it's one of the first stops you'll go to, and it was there that they found the pilot stone. Oh yes, I got a like from Lisa. She's been there with me, and she wants to go again, right, Lisa? And so anyway, they found the pilot stone there, and it was a stone that proved that Pontius Pilate exists. You can see models there. And so Paul's going to be kept here for a few years, leading to these chapters. He's not just there for a short period of time. I want to say it's 2 years. That's going off the top of my head. And he'll be prisoner there. But it was like prisoner in a nice fortress. You get to see the building. It's the floor, the foundation where Paul was, multi-levels. There was this pool by the ocean where the waves would go in and fill the pool. So it's kind of like an infinity pool from 2,000 years ago. Pretty cool. And so, the centurion writes this letter. He's going to be kept there, and he's going to have his trial coming up. And we're going to see him to speak before Felix. And then he's also going to speak before Festus. For those who were at our Valentine's dinner, Felix was married to Drusilla. We'll get to that. But that was one of those hard to, we had a match the couples game, and that was one of the tougher ones, Felix and Drusilla, right in there next to Heber and Jael from the book of Judges. So, hey, God bless you guys. Men, I don't see any of you watching, so that's good. That means you must be at men's breakfast. Ladies, hold the fort while we go off and eat and talk and do manly things. God bless you guys. See you at church tomorrow, or enjoy your church tomorrow. And we'll be back together on Monday. Adios.